All right, you guys, we are at the Hasbro booth at San Diego Comic-Con with Sam and Sarah from Hasbro. Now, you guys have never been on the podcast before, so maybe just give the listeners a quick little insight to what you guys do at Hasbro.
I'm design manager on Star Wars product.
Nice.
And I do marketing on Star Wars product.
Marketing. I'm interested, I'm fascinated with Star Wars marketing and marketing in general. How is it with, like, you've got the embargo and you've just had your, the panel with, like, a record low number of things announced. How does that what sort of challenges is that for marketing when you've sort of got this limited time frame to get, like, knowledge about the product out there?
Yeah, so we're in an interesting time right now. Obviously, there's a lot of amazing entertainment coming later this year. We're just in a time period where we're not really talking about a lot of things right now, but definitely stay tuned because there's more to come.
But you promised me you've got some good secrets.
There's going to be some good stuff coming, trust me.
Nice. I do have to say, one of the things that was revealed was the hyper-real Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Yes.
And for someone that loves Luke Skywalker, I'm happy to see him hyper-real. Now, one of the new lines that was introduced was the Galaxy Adventures 5-inch figures.
Yep.
I'm interested, the Black Series figures are a 6-inch scale, super popular. They sort of changed the game for Star Wars collecting. What was behind the decision? For me, like, the thing to do would be like, hey, let's make it 6 inches so they can fit with the Black Series figures. Is there some sort of playability that's more around the 5-inch figures for kids, or what was the decision behind that?
The specific sizing in particular?
Yeah.
Sam could speak to that more than I could. I can tell you why broadly we do new figures.
I know why you do new figures. I've heard about this goods and services thing.
Yeah, people like the products.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sorry. Yes.
Why the inch down?
So in terms of 5-inch, it was really more of seeing as inch up versus inch down. So it was definitely something that was always intended to live independently. It's a completely own stylization, and it's really more about being able to celebrate kind of the heritage and kind of the agnostic version of those characters. So, Han Solo, as he comes to life in the entertainment of the Galaxy of Adventure shorts. And so it really is about aligning something really unique. It still keeps scale as a very realistic component, so you'll find that Chewie, towers appropriately over Han Solo, and Vader towers appropriately over, characters of smaller scale as well.
Yeah.
But ultimately, being able to really find a scale that was appropriate, that was really playable for kids.
Yeah.
3 3/4 is something that we've done for 40 years. It's been successful for 40 years, and ultimately, really being able to have that live on, but to a more dedicated fan base, really letting it be celebrated through the vintage collection and more casually through things like retro. But letting 5-inch really kind of be the home of playability for kids. It's, they have great articulation with over 24 points, but then ultimately also being able to have these fantastic action features that are really character appropriate. So being able to have Han, quick draw and fire from the hip, having Vader be able to slash his lightsaber, Chewbacca to do sort of this overhead beast throw, and then having C-3PO more appropriately fall apart. So, it's all about driving sort of what's the right scale that's appropriate to kids, and not necessarily thinking collector first, but still offer a great way of, expanding into like an additional collection and letting them live on their own. I don't think the expectation is to have these live amongst your 6-inch figures, but it can certainly be an accent with it, whether you're casual or sort of a diehard collector of, picking these up.
Yeah, well, the execution of them, like in that animated style, it's really cool. And then those cartoons are like so fun.
They sure are.
I do have to say, there are some really good Luke Skywalker Galaxy of Adventures where he's wearing that black Jedi outfit.
Yep.
I'm just pointing that out.
Yep. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, just putting it out there. And how far ahead have you guys planned the line? Like, it seems like kids like the more kids-focused things, they have a shorter lifespan. Is that because kids grow out of them and then you've got to remarket to a new series of kids?
Well, when we announced these yesterday, we announced these 4 figures, but we also shared that there'd be a diverse lineup coming later this year, so definitely more to come on this.
Nice.
Yep.
And how are they going to be packaged?
There'll be more to come on the packaging as well, so that's stay tuned for that.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So you've got the 8-inch Darth Vader in the hyper-real format, and then you've announced the Luke, which is, like, I have to say, I wasn't too sold on a new scale, but looking at that in person, it is, like, very
it's pretty cool,
impressive.
right?
Like, I mean this in the kindest way, but it's Japanese level impressive.
Thank
Because
you.
that is the home of very impressive toys.
Thank you.
Again, how far ahead? Like, I always like, the first figure is very hard, you've got the second figure, which is really cool, but when will we find out about a third and fourth figure? Which could be my deciding factor whether I carry the line, and I'm sure a lot of people watching as well.
Well,
so the big thing in terms of hyperreal, part of going to the new scale was really to be able to complement the technology and really be able to future-proof the line. So taking into consideration who is going to be our largest character, but also our smallest, and using that as kind of the defining principle, because as we start to look at things like material thickness and stuff, we don't want to get down the line and find out we can't do that character because their wrists are going to have to be inflated to be able to fit this in. So it was definitely taking that limitation and really being able to future-proof the line by going to the larger scale and ultimately being able to deliver what we have with Vader and Luke Skywalker. We also really wanted, it is intended to be kind of differentiated from Black Series, although being a Black Series kind of element in terms of that it lives under the Black Series umbrella. These figures are definitely striving to a very different level of premium nature. So in terms of the level of accuracy they go after, you'll find deco operations that we've never been able to do, again, because we didn't have that larger scale. So the spacing opens up to allow us to do things like the Arabish on Vader's chest box and doing the really finite details on the lightsaber to ultimately to be able to deliver the best version that we've been able to do. And so as we've moved that into the Luke, again, it presented a lot of new challenges for us to overcome, going to a human form versus doing something helmeted and more of, almost the robotic nature that is Vader, and being able to bring so much more of the outfit in, not being able to rely on things like armor panels to help hide various things on the form, and really having to, kind of solve the engineering concerns that would really be how to hide a completely seamless Luke Skywalker body in his Bespin fatigues. So
okay, well, I cannot wait to see that. and when do you think we'll find out about like the third and fourth figure?
Well, we have Hyperreal Vader launching this year. It's actually on pre-order right now, and it's going to start shipping in August. And then Luke was announced yesterday, which will be available in 2020. So that's about as far ahead as we're going to go right now.
All right, now let's talk about your diorama. It is depicting my favorite thing that has ever been screened on a giant white wall, the Ignite the Green moment over the Sarlacc pit. Tell us what went into making this incredible piece, and also for canny-eyed collectors, there's a few Black Series 6-inch figures that have never been made. 88, EV99, a Gonk droid, I believe. Is there any other little Easter eggs that you've made?
There's definitely quite a few. The whole diorama itself was definitely actually spawned around the Sail Barge. So that, in terms of really being able to celebrate that item, the only time people have really seen it publicly was when we had the concept for it before HasLab launched, which was at New York Toy Fair of last year. So apart from people that actually were able to back the barge to its success, a lot of people haven't really seen the true size and nature of what the barge actually brought to the consumer. So it's celebrating that, celebrating all the fantastic items that spawned and ultimately brought to fruition in terms of the vintage skiff, the Skiff Guard 3-pack, as well as taking inspiration for that as we moved into the 6-inch scale. But we also wanted to celebrate 6-inch because it's something that's really popular. Half of our demographic really comes here for 6-inch as well. So being able to take a lot of great classic figures from throughout the line, bring them into here, as well as doing a few customs. You'll find there's a Bib Fortuna in there that's, again, just for the show here. A big sort of prize trophy down there in the basement, and then definitely as we get into things like the droid torture room, there were really fun ways of being able to take some characters and actually infuse them in the line, taking some of the technologies that we're actually using in retro and being able to scan original items. We're actually able to take some of the original Power of the Force figures and just sort of scale them up for 6-inch here. As a really nice kind of homage and, again, celebration of this broader scene, but ultimately just giving something really fun for the 6-inch collector to latch onto coming into the show.
I've noticed you guys have been having some fun. The story seems to be continuing throughout the con.
You've noticed.
I know. I notice everything Luke Skywalker does on that skiff. That is my brand, if you will. Now, tomorrow's Sunday, and spoiler alert, the end of this scene ends with the Sail Barge blowing up. Is there fireworks underneath this thing?
They may or may not have confiscated our pack of M80s that we're trying to send the thing off in. It's been an ever-evolving thing throughout the con. Each morning we're actually changing it out to really be able to help tell that story. So between Jabba's Palace, the Rancor Pit, and also, again, the Pit of Carkoon, really being able to have those events sort of unfold. There's still a couple of stages that we still have to see Luke Skywalker make, so I don't know that we'll get to the explosion tomorrow, but it's certainly something we're hearing, and I don't believe anyone's blown a barge up yet.
Okay, well, get to it. D23 is next month, and there's going to be a big push for the Mandalorian. Is there going to be any Hasbro presence there, and maybe some sneak peeks of some figures?
So D23 is typically focused on panels and entertainment and things like that, so Hasbro's not going to have a large presence there, but there's going to be a lot of great things, I'm sure.
Okay. When do you think, is that with Force Friday we get the Mandalorian releases, or is that something you can't even step to?
Yeah, we're not even going to talk about that right now, but stay tuned.
Okay. Now, you've had the company and all the licensees have had a very hectic, 4 or 5 years of all these films. You've got a 3-year break coming up with some TV series and some cartoons. Yeah. What do you guys sort of want to achieve in those 3 years? Is there things that you want to go back and cover, or like what's the sort of goal for that in-between film period?
I think it's actually something there's parts of us that are looking forward to it, ultimately because we've been so entertainment rich just in terms of movie after movie after movie. So in terms of being able to support that through all the scales, there's so much entertainment in terms of going through and trying to support all the new theatrical releases as they're coming out. So I think it's going to present a lot of great opportunities for us to go back and revisit a lot of different things that really kind of got missed in the first run, and ultimately we hope to potentially be able to bring into the line.
Nice. It's it's been hectic for everyone. The retro line.
Yep.
Now, this is my standard question that I've been asking people from Hasbro. Before I even did a podcast, I'd get up at the panel and ask this. I am desperate. This is what, if you've got some spare time in these 3 years.
Yep.
A retro line that covers prequel and sequel figures. I want my Kylo Ren with extendable lightsaber that comes out. The Tarkin, amazing. That's like a weird dream come true. Is there any more plans to extend that line, and how's the response been?
The response has been amazing. So we launched it, came out into stores, and kind of disappeared. So there'll be more stock coming to stores later this year because people have really loved it. But we have nothing new to share right now for retro.
Okay.
But certainly the fact that it's performed so well, we've taken note.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is great. With everything coming up, there's a plethora. You've got Clone Wars, you've got Mandalorian, got the new film. What are you guys, as Star Wars fans, most looking forward to seeing?
Oh my gosh, there's so much, right, Sam?
Oh, there's plenty. Me personally, it's got to be the Mandalorian. I am so stoked on that from an entertainment standpoint. Everything we've seen and just sort of the passion and drive. Hearing Favreau and Filoni really amp up everything that they're putting in behind this in terms of love. It's just pounding away in my chest in terms of excitement. So, I think that, especially coming out of Celebration, that was the thing I was so excited to see. And definitely in terms of being able to do passion projects like Mandalorian helmet over there, that's a deep cut for me for sure.
Nice. And also writing season 2 already.
I'm really excited to see the culmination of the Skywalker saga with the Rise of Skywalker. I mean, it's a story 42 years in the making, so can't wait.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
But I'll watch the other one as well. All right, you guys, thanks so much for chatting. And the diorama, you somehow did outdo yourself this year again. After the Death Star one, I'm a bit biased to that scene, but it was incredible. And I love the mix of the small and the big figures. It was really cool. But thanks so much for chatting, and the great toys. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks so much for watching, and let us know, what did you think of Hasbro's presentation at San Diego Comic-Con? What do you think of my idea for retro figures? How are you feeling about those new hyper-real figures? And are you feeling those 5-inch Galaxy of Adventures figures? I know personally I will be definitely getting the Luke Jedi if and when they bring that out. But let us know in the comments below. Keep following the channel because we have a bunch of San Diego Comic-Con content coming with a Star Wars twist. And you can also listen to my audio podcast covering all the events at San Diego Comic-Con. You can check that out at steelewars.com, iTunes, or wherever good or bad podcasts are downloaded. Thanks so much, and may that force be with you.